Right, back onto Sam's and progression under the bonnet here. So as I said, this ran a MR230, I think it was, that we were talking about with Timmy Tastic 1 previously. We've had to readjust all the timing. It was having a time about get water pump and all that sort of stuff anyway, so it made sense to do it all in one go. Alternator's back on, starter's on. Like we've said before, starter's got to come out because you need to pin it all up on the flywheel. Alternator's got to come away because you need to get the bracket off, etc. As you can see, he's got the Powerflex upright brush, which we've showed you before. RT330 turbo's on now. All the shields all on, it's all plumbed in. This is the uprated silicone hoses for the RT330 for the water feeds, which is water cooled. Sport cat's on. We put the lambdas in afterwards, makes it a lot easier to fit the cat. You put the lambdas in it, then you're going to struggle to get it up through the hole, and then you're going to there's a chance you're going to damage the wiring, and you don't want that. So just take them out, put them in afterwards, just a lot easier. We've got to change these brushes on the bracket. We talked about that before with Timmy Tastic 1. For the billet ones, that's easy. What else we got to do? Lots. Got to put an oil catch. Once we build all this up, I've left all that off. That's all got to be cleaned up and put all back together. All we just that's all covered. To stop anything. Well, we just took it off just to show you really. So we put all the rocker cover back on again. Fix all the DI pump on it and all the bits and pieces. Put the inlet back on. Got a catch can on it. Paralloy curved radiator intercooler. That's going on. Leaving it blank. No stencil on that one. Put the Revo Alcon brakes on the front, which came off Carlo's, which we talked about. They got to be cleaned up. We'll talk you through that. DS2500 pads in the rear. He's already got braided lines on the rear. The braided lines for the front will come with the calipers. We'll dump all the brake fluid out of it and change that to maybe put like Paget 5.1 in it. That'll be sufficient for what he's doing with this. Rear upper isolators. Like I said, the exhaust has been repaired, which you see there. That was where we showed it to you on the floor, where it was stretch cracked around them areas there, and on the bracket, that's all been repaired. The horrible mild steel patch that had been welded into a stainless pipe, shocking, but that's been cut out now, and we've all been made good as we showed you. You would have seen on the floor. Obviously, yes, we'll change the plugs for the cooler running LTR ones, gap them accordingly. On the front, so we need a 20mm spacer on the standard 47 offset wheel to clear the caliper, so we'll do that. As I say, he's got spacers on there, but he's only got 15mm on the front, 20 on the back, so the rears will stay as they are. We'll tap the studs out, put in longer studs, wind them in, slip on H&R 20mm spacer. That will clear the big brakes. We're all pretty much done then, so we'll load up the we've got to get rid of the mount tune software. It's got the MR230 on it at the moment, so we need to get rid of that. Put a Super-C as a stock file on it, and then load up the RT330. We'll go for the one with the enhanced exhaust overrun, which will give it some subtle pops and burbles, which is pretty cool. He's got the mount tune system on this, so each one sounds differently depending on what exhaust you got on it. And he'll have a completely different day and night experience between this and, I mean, if this is, he's going to be like 100 horsepower up, isn't he? And well, yeah, lots more torque as well. So he'll have quite an exciting drive. I'll do some miles in it, make sure everything's all good, and then he'll have an exciting drive on the way back to Lancashire, which is 5+ hours away. So fair play to him for coming down to us. He could have chose somebody, I've said this before, he could have chose somebody a lot closer to him, but he wanted to bring it to us, and that's really humbling. It says something, doesn't it? Which is, we like that. So fair play to Sam. So we'll continue this. I need to crack on and start getting some more stuff done on it, because it will be here till Christmas house. Is that right to me?
That's correct.
That's right. So we'll catch up soon. Boys and girls, back on the bonnet of Sam's ST180 that we've put so the RT330 turbo is all on. You can sort of like see it. You sort of like can't, because I've put all the heat shield back on.
Yeah.
All right. The sport cat's all on, all plumbed in with the water feed. We're just test fitting the 90° out of the Revo turbo. 2 options on that. One for like a Revo crossover pipe, 3-inch bore, and then there's one which is less for optional crossovers. So we're just test fitting that at the moment. Got to pop the other lambda sensor in, got the pre one in, got to put the post one in, connect all that up. Shifter brushes are all on there, look to me. That's the upgraded billet ones, which Sam supplied. That's all back together, look. That's all the time that kit's been done, water pump, all been cleaned. All takes a, you know, it's just attention to detail really. The throttle side of it, that's all on with the boost pipe. Exhaust is all on. Intercooler, which we'll show you in a sec, that's going to be, hopefully get that on tonight. Spark plugs are all in, we put the cooler running LTRs in that. Same with that, cap them all accordingly. Oil catch cans, got to go on, Mishimoto. Got on the bench, as you can see. So he's gone for the, which is what I said to him, yeah. So it's the Pro Alloy curved intercooler. Nice bit of kit to me, isn't it?
Yeah.
Made very well, it's all been tested. See that? You tested it, look. Something for Sam to read, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah. He says. Just the attachments to go with it, obviously left and right couplers to go to the rest of it, and yeah, so your couplers will be jointed in there, and then it'll marry up with the original, well, the RT330 boost pipe on the near side, the original on the off side. That's it. Let's crack on, and then we'll update you on the next one. Right at the rear of Sam's now. I suppose you'll be taking this off, buddy. Because it ain't that anymore, is it?
No.
I think he's already got his Revo stage 4 badges with the 4 little pegs. So that'll be going on. Exhaust is all on the bench here. Thought we would just share this with you before we start dropping it in. So the oil filter's already on. We'll do the pond filter last, sump plug, the built-in seal, all there. 530, fully synthetic, Magnatech. Not 520, they originally come 520. Depending on the mileage that the car's done, we tend to go 530. This one's done a few more miles, so we need to you know, keep it a bit thicker when it's hotter. So 530. It's not 530 if you think it's 530 and it's time to go home. I didn't mean that to me. All right. Transmission oil, because we've drained all the fluids out of this, so that'll be the 75 fully synthetic Castro. And I thought we'll have the cup to match. Because we're talking about Castro, it's relevant to me, innit?
That's it, yeah.
Talk about the oil, talk about that. Super Plus, Ford, coolant, that should be going in. Let's wander around to the front of it. So everything's all back together. Intercooler's on that. So that's the Pro Alloy curved ones we talked about. Now, I don't need to explain why it's curved. Look at the crash bar. Yeah, so it's like, follows the contours of that. All right. All the boost pipes are on, that's done, and the side's done. I've had to modify, now this is where it gets interesting. RT330 turbo, so there's two different options on the pipe that comes out from the turbo and comes up at 90 degree. The one piece one, which is this one, that'll be an option. So that if you're running like a Revo intake with 3-inch 76mm straight in there, you don't have to worry about it, you can fit that one. Like on all the applications that we have, but we use our own crossover pipe, it's straight in. On this one, you can't because it's smaller, the crossover pipe's smaller, so what they do is there's an option for it. He was missing one of the parts, so he was missing the coupler, which is a reducer. Luckily I've got lots of different bits and pieces kicking around. So that's all done. Mishimoto oil catch can. They don't do any choice in this anymore, it's just one fitment. They used to do it with red hoses, blue hoses and black to me, didn't they? Yeah. No, they don't, it's just black only. They simplified it, the fittings are a bit different, they go in. Before they were plastic ones, you had to put some PTFE tape on them. It's a lot neater now, so they're metal and it's just they've got a seal on them. Lovely. And the bracket is far more robust. The other one was a bit flimsy. This is proper, and they've utilised it, so they've used a little cutout, yeah, on the chassis there to set it in there, and it's really secure. So they just learned from, they just evolved it from the first generation ones, but it's only available in one type at the moment. So what's left to do on it now? So battery's sort of like half connected, everything else is done. We'll put the front end on last. So what next thing is we're gonna get the brakes all cleaned up, get them all fitted up, put the rear DS2500 race pads. We'll show all that to you on the bench. I'll lay it all out, get it all Get them all fitted up, get it all bled through, and then we'll I'll probably do that brake side of it after I've done the software. So I need to go in, get rid of the mount tune MR230 off it, put on the stock file, supersede the stock file, and then load up the RT330. Get it all done, bang it all back together, and then time to go and have some fun. So see you soon. Ready, Timmy? Ready, Sam? Sam's the owner of the vehicle. Edgy, yeah?
Very edgy.
So, wasn't easy with the taking the because you've got to get the mount tune software off first that we discussed. It's got to be a selected file to do that. So we've done that. Took a little while extracting getting the file from Revo to do it. So we've done that. Put a stock file on it. Then loaded up the RT330. That's all on there. We've done all our checks. Now we're going to do the first fire up, Timmy, aren't we?
Yep.
Hey.
Confident?
No, there you go. That's a joke, by the way.
It's all banter, yeah.
Ready? Now we've done a quick little fire up initially, about 10 minutes ago. Just primed it all up, and then I fired it just off on cold start, just to let it, you know, just to get a feel for what it was doing. No problem. Then we switched it off, let it settle, and then this is the second fire up, proper fire up really. The other one was just a test fire up. So we everything's good. We come around there. That was. So we get the coolant. Leave that like that. We need to bleed the system through. Done it on the top of the radiator. That's all lovely. The old dust cap there. So we've had it flowing out of there. That's lovely. When the stat opens, we'll run it off the temperature. Now when the stat opens, it will flow through. Everything will be hot. Heater inside, make sure that's hot. Fans are cutting in naturally. Not with the aircon on. They need to come in and out. And then we'll check the oil level. Let it settle. Check the oil level again. Make sure that's all good. All the levels are good. The oil's in the gearbox. Or else it'll be making a hood racket to me, wouldn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
Right, so that's good. Happy with that. So cat candle on it. Let's fire it. And let's shut it down. Hey, knock it off, yeah?
Knock it off, yeah.
Right, let's move around to the bench. So I said, once we've got that lot sorted out with the engine and the Revo software, etc., straight onto the brakes. So as you can see presented on there, this is the brakes that come off Carlos ST180, the one we put our big brake kit on the front and rear. If you didn't check him out, Charlie Victor 007. The link will be down below or up above, wherever Timmy's going to put it. And he's got his own channel, YouTube channel. And the latest one is of him just getting a shakedown at Castle Combe. He didn't go mad on it. It was just you know, it wasn't about lap times and all that sort of stuff. It's purely just to test out the brakes and get a feel for the car again, because he hasn't driven it for ages. So what's that? Charlie Victor 007. Give him the thumbs up. You know, subscribe. Great guy, Carlo. So please do that. Going back onto the brake nut, this is what we took off the front of his car. He didn't have, he just had standard, what did he have? He had mount tune pads in there, didn't he?
Yeah.
On the back, remember? We had to sort of hammer them out because
yeah.
they were just seized in the carrier, weren't they? Hopefully, I won't have the problem there with Sam's. He's got EBC yellow stuff, I think. But I've said to him, get them out and then match it. These are DS2500s and put DS2500s. So we've supplied, these are OE rear pads, but in DS2500s. We can get access to them because obviously without dealing with high spec. High spec don't do normally, you know, they just don't sell or supply normal OE pads in DS2500s. They do it for us because obviously we've got the deal with the rest of the brakes, so they will do it. So yeah, these have only done not very many miles at all. They don't come with loads of friction material on them, but they're still not far off being new, which is great. Brackets, disc, 332mm disc. These are floating discs. We've got the C groove or hook groove, whatever you want to call it, on there. Brackets, which is 40 chuppies on there. This is Powerflex rear upper isolators. He's got the original ones on there, and in a minute they're sort of deteriorated. The spring will end up making contact with the chassis of the car, or whatever you want to call it. Yeah, yep. Body. It'll make a noise. Put it that way. That's it. So these are all blanked off because we don't want any fluid dribbling out of them, Timmy, do we?
Yep.
that's the next phase. Get all that banged on the front, and then I've got to do the spacers. Got to replace his studs. He's got 15mm spacers on the front, as we said before. I'll need to replace them. Extended studs, 20mm slip-on spacer H&R. He's got ST200 wheels, or else it won't clear the caliper. That's it, and then bleed all the system through. Just crack on. Right, back at the front end on Sam's. Revo brakes all fitted, look. So as we said, these have come off Carlos because we fitted our big brake kit onto his. Not straightforward because he had standard studs on this and he had a 15mm hub-centric bolt-on spacer, which is not enough for the standard wheel to clear the caliper. So we've put extended studs in, knocked them out, put extended studs in, which we keep them anyway. Put a 20mm H&R slip over spacer. That's all on, as you can see. And they're in really good condition. Say the discs were not long, been reskinned by iSpec for us. New set of DS2500 pads in it, which have done minimum mileage. All we got to do is bleed it all through. Engine side of it's all done. Other side's pretty much the same. So we'll move to the rear now, Timmy. And then on the back, we fit the Powerflex upper isolators because the other ones were, well, you can see on the bench that they were, as usual, just crumbling away. So nothing left of them. And that's why we said that you'll end up having the spring touching the chassis. All right. DS2500s in the rear, OE ones, which we can get access to. Now he's already got 20mm hub-centric bolt-ons on the rear, so we don't need to change those. There's no point, it doesn't need to. Exhaust is all on as well. That's all buttoned up now. All the bolts were all rotten, so we've replaced them. Car's been ran up, it's all spot on. You know, done all our bleeding, all the fans cutting in and out. We just recheck the oil level now. It's first thing in the morning. So then we're going to we'll bleed it all through, and then it'll be like a finish up vid of this journey on this one. Sam's all excited. I've already spoke to him. He's coming down. This is Saturday, so he's coming down on tomorrow, Sunday, to pick it up, which is exciting for him. We're taking him out for a drive, getting familiar with it. He's going from an MR230 to RT330. It's like day and night, completely different. So he's going to be well impressed. So we'll crack on, get it finished. I'll go get the front bumper on the week. Something you've got to fit fog light in it. We just got to realign the splitter, etc. And then we're pretty much done. So we'll continue it shortly. Wheels are on, brakes are on. As you can see, look, what we do check, I've always said about the wheel weights, haven't I? About checking that first. On the Revo ones, look, it clears. So there's no, you'll have to mess around with that. They've not been on recently, these two long these tires anyway, so they've all been balanced up. He didn't complain about any wheel vibration, but it clears. It's close, but it's fine. So what we've got to do now is all the front ends back on, as you can see there, look, Timmy.
Yep.
You've always some pictures of that, haven't you, with the alloy curved intercooler. There's no stencil on it, you didn't want that. Engine cover's got to go back on, but then the brakes all bled through. The three of me, you and Laura's done that just now, didn't we?
Yep.
That's all sorted. Just wander into the rear, Timmy. Set all the tyre pressures off, that's all. We just run it on the standard 36 front, 26 rear. No need to start messing around adjusting the pressures. You know, he's not on a circuit, is he? So, and then we got the DS2500s there, which will just enhance it a bit. Exhaust is all on. We're ready to rock and roll, aren't we? Almost. Yep. And then we'll finish up soon. Right, guys and girls, the final instalment on Sam's. So, beautiful sunny day.
The rest of it's sunny.
Warm, isn't it?
Yeah.
Good. This one's finally complete. We've just put out a road test, haven't we?
Yep.
Not very far, just the bed brakes in, which you can see there. Look, have a look at the Revo. That's the Revo Olcon brakes. 4-pot mono caliper, 332mm disc, DS2500 pads. We've already spoken about that. They come off Carlo's car. We don't need to keep going over that again. Rears, DS2500s to match, so the braking on it is really good. As good as it can be with the small stock rears. Let's walk around this way, Timmy. It sits on, well, it says mountain on, but they're eye back springs. drops them down 15 mil, I think it is. I'm not sure. I've never got involved with them, but I think it's about 15 mil. Is or is it 20 mil? I don't know. I'm sure somebody will tell me in the comments down below. I've got the screen lost because I forgot to do that. I've done it for the screen. We had to, like I said before, we had to modify the coupler down onto the turbo because it's got a mounting crossover pipe. Got a color coater on it. Wanted to keep. More this way to me. Same basically. It's quite nice. So it's got ST200 wheels on it, which is pretty cool because it matches the centre part of it. Look, it matches the car. The Maxton. So it's got these, basically got the lowline kit. Part Maxton, part TRC. As we said before, I think that's going to be gone. I'll have Revo 4 on that. Purring away there.
Yeah.
So it's got 20 mil spacers on the front with the extended studs, which we had to do, or else the wheels would be carving up the calipers. Yeah, so we're just going to put it back in on the ramp. We'll get it up on the lift. We'll do our post checks to make sure that everything's good, that there's no leaks, or we're quite happy with everything on the temperatures. And then it's good to go. And Sam will be coming down, all the way down from, I suppose it's sunny in Lancashire, to collect it tomorrow. So we're going to be super excited. All right, we're not going to go terrible. We'll do some more miles in it, but it's, you know, it's not an engine rebuild or anything like that. So we'll do a few more miles in it, just so that we're 100% with it before he drives it back to Lancashire. We always do that. We're not a sort of garage where, you know, we'll do the job, whiz it around the block quickly, hand you the keys, see you later. We're not like that. It's, you know, a bit of one-to-one, and we'll do what we need to do until I'm happy. You know, even Laura will drive it, and then she'll give me her opinion on it. She's pretty switched on. She'll be able to go in that. I mean, I think she knows a bit. The little beast belongs to her. So yeah, she's
that
not
tells
scared,
you enough, doesn't it?
but she's not scared to get in a car and give it a handful, you know. So yeah, so she'll be taking that out. So let's get him in there. So that's it basically. This will be like the finish up vid. Cracking car. Very humbled that Sam's come all the way down from Lancashire to let us carry out the mods on his cars. Like I said, you know, it's great. I mean, I know he spoke to lots of other people and he chose to come down to us. So work that one out for yourself. You know, I'm not one to commenting on why. It's just, you know, he's here and that's it. You can ask him if you want to. But that's it. Ready to go on in the final inspection. So usual thing to me, as the viewers know. Do you remember, Jack? Because you.
Yeah. Like, subscribe,
yeah.
comment down below,
Yeah,
and hit the bell button.
You're at home, weren't you?
Yeah.
Like chilling out. I don't know if you've got or not. So yeah, like I said, viewers, as Timmy's just mentioned, hit that bell notification button. Really important. There's a lot of viewers will watch our videos, but they don't hit that, you know, notification button. So subscribe, you get notifications and all that sort of stuff. Comments down below, really important. And the likes, we like to, you know, we try and respond to as many as we can. And I know a lot of you enjoyed the video that Phil done for us on my demo car, the RS, which is really, really good. Lots more coming up on Fiesta and RS, different sort of category of owners. So we'll yeah, thanks ever so much for listening, and I hope you've enjoyed this one, and we will catch up with you very soon. Ciao.